Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Dark Wizard gaming chair from Andaseat. And another seat. And another seat. And another seat. But in all seriousness, this is their big and tall gaming chair, and in case you can't tell, I am a big, thick boy, and for about the past year and a half or so, I've been using the Vertagear PL6000, which I had reviewed on the channel. It got a lot of views and a lot of really good feedback as people enjoyed, seeing the review of a big and tall chair from someone that's actually big themselves. So I'm going to try to apply that here today to the Dark Wizard gaming chair from Andaseat, as well as this is kind of in the same bracket. The Vertagear PL6000 comes in at around $400, while this chair you're looking at $330 depending on color variant. This exact one right here, which is the black with black carbon trim, is actually $400 right now on Amazon from one seller, which is Andaseat. But all the other color options, there's the red, blue, and also a black, white, and gray one. They're all mainly black, but with the trim colors. And other than the black on black one that I have here, the other three are all selling for $330 right now over on Amazon. I'll be sure to leave a link down in the description below over to that page. But just like the Vertagear chair that I had looked at a while ago, this has a weight capacity of 440 pounds, which is going to be good for all of you thick boys and girls out there. And it's got a pretty wide seat as well. At just under 22 inches, which was certainly big enough to be able to support my large frame without feeling like I was kind of hanging over the sides, and I had enough space sitting on it between the arms of the chair without feeling like they were cutting into the sides of my body in any way whatsoever. So the actual buttocks portion of the chair was very comfortable, and the wings on it, which pretty much all gaming chairs have these, right? They have these little wings kind of cut into the side of the chair, just like you would see in a racing seat inside of a car. But these ones are not as pronounced as some of the wings on the other gaming chairs that I have tried out in the past. So these were actually, I would say, even more comfortable than the Vertagear, at least as far as the buttocks portion of the chair is concerned. Now, speaking about the arms, the biggest complaint that I really had on this chair were the arms themselves, because they are extremely short. Let me show you how short these things actually are when I'm sitting on the chair. So as you can see, when I'm sitting down, it is going right up against my body. It fits me quite snugly, but it's still enough room on here that I feel quite comfortable in it. And because the arms do articulate outwards, I can give myself a little bit of extra room if I need to. Unfortunately, they do not move inwards and outwards away from the body, but as I said, it's plenty wide enough for even my big frame to be able to sit here comfortably. However, the arms, these are actually at the max height. And you can see if I sit back and I just kind of put my arms at the side here, my elbows are quite far from the actual arms themselves. This is the highest that they go. So to actually get my elbows to rest on the armrest, I would have to lean all the way down like this, which is not really comfortable. It just doesn't feel natural, honestly. I could barely I basically have to use my hands on it. I could kind of use my hands to adjust if I need to, but actually resting my elbows on it is pretty much impossible. And if you were a taller person, I'm only 5'10", so if you wanted to have your whole arms resting on this chair, it's pretty much impossible unless you are a very short person, in which case you're probably not going to be buying a big and tall chair as it is. If you take a look over here at my Vertagear chair, in comparison to this one, you could see just how tall it is compared to it actually. You could see that if I was sitting in the Vertagear, my arm would sit on it at a perfect height right here. It's right at the side of my body. Whereas on the Andaseat, there is about a 2 to 3 inch difference, I would say, between the Vertagear and the Andaseat, making it not very comfortable in long sessions if you want to just have your arms kind of rested at your side if you're watching a video or something along those lines. But as far as just using it in, regular office use, it's fine. But the arms themselves, it leaves something to be desired, and I really do wish that the arms were able to go up higher, something comparable, I would say, to where the Vertagear is on the PL6000. As far as the materials go on the chair, the vast majority of it is PVC, so it's not real leather at all. The back portion as well as the buttocks is PVC, but the little wings on the side here where you've got your carbon sort of print is actually vinyl, and it does feel kind of cheap and plasticky when I am touching on the wings themselves, while the rest of it feels pretty good with the PVC material. So all of the side trim on the wings for the back as well as the buttocks, those are vinyl, as I said, and don't really have a very good quality feeling, but the actual back and the bottom of the chair do feel pretty good, so they should be able to stand up to a decent amount of abuse and use over time without tearing or, you know, really becoming faded or damaged in any way, I would feel. So really nothing kind of taken away from there except for just the overall sort of cheap feeling of the wings of the chair and the trim, really. We have some of those same materials here on the headrest of the chair, which does slip on, and it's got a strap to kind of keep it in place on the headrest of the chair, and I found that it was in a good position to be able to use it on my head. It wasn't like too high or too low or anything like that. It did seem like it was in a good position. However, with the backrest, we don't get any sort of strap or anything to really secure this to the chair when you put it in place. So what would happen often if I were to get up, it would pretty much just usually flop over, and then every time I would sit down, I would have to adjust it and put it back into position. It is a pretty comfortable backrest. It doesn't have that really narrow one, which usually just looks like a bigger version of the headrest. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't able to stay secured to the chair in any way, so it just kind of became a hassle more often than not, so I tended to not use the backrest at all. There are two other areas where I would have to definitely give the edge to the Vertagear PL6000 in terms of my comparison. The first major one would be in terms of ease of assembly, because the back of this chair was extremely difficult to get on here by myself. I actually had to wait for my girlfriend to get home to help me install this thing because it doesn't slip over the metal brackets that are on the side to screw it into place. You kind of have to balance it and hold it there, and the holes never seem to really line up properly. So it was just very difficult trying to get this portion here slotted into the side of the chair by myself, and I needed some help. And even with another person there helping me, it took quite a while to get going. And the other area where I really wish that they had kind of put in a little bit more quality is into the construction of the 5-star base, because this is kind of one of those plastic, sort of like thick plasticky bases, whereas on my Vertagear chair, it's got a steel 5-star base, which just puts a lot more, it feels like a lot more quality, honestly, and more substantial. And as a big person, if you're shopping for this chair and you're, you know, spending close to $400 as a 400-pound person, or even over 400 pounds, you're probably going to want to get a good solid base. And having the plastic on here, I'm not really sure how it's going to hold up over a year. After 3 months, it's still going strong. But after a year or two, I know a lot of big guys can tend to break chairs, so I'm not too sure how well this is going to hold up over time. So really, final takeaway from the Andaseat Dark Wizard chair is that it is comfortable. It does seem strong enough for a big person, although there are a couple of areas where I would like to see them improve in the future. The main one is having much taller arms for the armrests. I would also like to see a little bit better construction on the 5-star base, and I would also like to see them improve on the ease of assembly with this chair, but it's probably not going to change too much, as most of these chair manufacturers stick with using only a small handful of OEMs, and then they just kind of slap their logo on the back of it. This particular assembly here I've seen on probably at least 3 or 4 other different chair companies out there. So really all you're just getting here is an Andaseat logo at the end of the day from an OEM manufacturer, and nothing really too much is changing there. But that's the same, you know, with the Vertagear chair or a chair from Corsair or what have you. They're pretty much all just using the same small group of OEMs, and not really is too much changing between them except for the price, although this is one of the higher weight capacity ones, so obviously if you are in the market for a big and tall gaming chair, it could probably fit that need. Although if I were to make my purchase decision at the end of the day, I would go with the little bit more expensive, or if you're getting this exact color right now, it's the same price as the Vertagear PL6000, which I've been using for about a year and a half, and I haven't had a single issue with that chair. So if I'm a big guy or a big gal out there trying to get a chair, I would still personally go towards the Vertagear, although this is a pretty decent option, but I think they have some improvements to go through and maybe do for the second generation. Maybe just contact a different OEM, because let's be honest, they're not actually designing this chair in any way, shape, or form. They're just putting their logo on it. So yeah, maybe kind of source your parts from different OEMs, get a different base, maybe get the same one that Vertagear is using, although you're pretty much just building a Vertagear chair. So I guess pick whichever one seems to be built better, which right now is the Vertagear. Besides that, you're pretty much just choosing between which logo is slapped to the back of the chair. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the Andaseat and another seat and another seat and another seat in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, don't forget to leave a like on it and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll catch you guys next time. I don't know what happened there. I just kind of went all Elvis-y. And I'll catch you next time. As I said, ta-da.